Okay, there we go. All right, YouTube folks, feel free to go ahead and skip ahead about a minute. I'm going to give people a second to get in here, and then I'm just going to start pretty much immediately with some games. Good morning, everyone. My name is Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University, and today I'll be streaming with Mono White D&T featuring Brighling. Brighling has been very, very good in testing. I haven't gotten that many games in on Moto yet, kind of due to all the stuff that I have going on with Latin Academy. But initial testing yesterday on both Remorseful Cleric and Brighling were both very, very positive. Putting both of those cards in the deck, though, does mean that I have very, very few slots available for, silver bullets, so to speak. And it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of flex slots in deck currently. So I feel okay about the sideboard. Like, I like the variation that I have here, although I'm not 100% sure that I have the right number of in and outs for each matchup. Rather than sitting down and writing out a sideboard guide to make sure that I've got everything going, I'm just gonna start testing, and we're gonna see what happens. So we are currently 1-0 in the current league. I got to start it yesterday, but I did not have time to finish it. I kind of have these weird time slots where I have a little bit of time to work, but that's about it. Or not work. This is kind of work, I guess. Yeah, that poor Dredge player yesterday. He didn't know what was coming. Morning. So this isn't really an impressive hand. I think my opponent plays Miracles. So this doesn't do much, and this doesn't do much. And this is probably slow. I'm just not thrilled about this hand in any capacity. I'm gonna mulligan this one. This hand is arguably worse. This is a bad hand. Forgot to swap out the planes. I'm playing another league with this instead of my good ones. That's sad. Yeah, 50% gaming. I'm with you there. Neither one of those hands were particularly acceptable, but going to 5 against Miracles is probably a recipe for disaster. I don't think I can edit the deck list while I'm playing with it in a league, right? That doesn't work. That is fair. I will forget about that later. Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm relatively dead here. Well, I assume this doesn't resolve since my opponent just brainstormed and the thing they're likely to put on top is that Blood Moon again, but I had to try. Yeah, I'm gonna play this out for a few turns, see if my opponent shows me another win condition other than Jace. Like, there's important information to be had here. Yeah, so the 7 was bad, the 6 was bad, and we drew a lot of lands afterwards. I almost don't even want to cast this Flicker Wisp. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to try to collect a few cards in hand and then, like, try to resolve something in a turn. Alright. I'm comfortable conceding to the Mentor. I will wait to see if I draw exactly Swords to Plowshares on my turn. But then I'm going to concede. Unless that's Portent targeting me. Alright, yeah, we can concede there. Morning, Minifer. Alright, so I want Sword of War and Peace, I want Prelate, I want Brightling Recruiter, Council's Judgment, I will consider Relic Warder. I'm gonna cut Swords to Plowshares for sure. Yeah. I know he's on the Mentor plan, but I'd probably still cut most or all of these. I don't know, like, how many of those enchantments he's going to leave in for the post-sideboard games. Basic Planes, since we saw the Portents and the Predicts, I think it's pretty clearly Miracles. So I have the 4th piece of equipment in this build, which means I'm going to take out Jitte. And it might be correct to trim some mobs. What I'm curious about is, like, how is Remorseful Cleric going to change this matchup as it goes long? Because when he goes to answer Remorseful Cleric, I'm going to nuke the graveyard. And this is some degree of protection against Snapcaster Mage. Like, how does that make me reevaluate my mobs, which are also some protection against Snapcaster Mage and the initial removal spells? Like, to some degree, like, trimming some of these might be fine. This hand is absolutely stellar. I kind of wish the Revoker was something else, because Revoker's kind of weak in this matchup now. No, the Flying Drew, but it'll be soon. Probably sometime within the next week to week and a half. That's a bad draw. So Static Grip, I think we need to keep Revoker in for Jace. But we really don't want to draw it in the early game. Like, I'm playing it out here because it is pressure, and, like, my next turn is going to be Recruiter. So, like, I need to do something. But this is a card we hope to tutor for later rather than draw early. How do I want to do this? Like, this feels like Counterspell. Am I willing to just, like, pass and port? I don't think I want to pass and port. I think I'm just willing to jam this, and if it trades with a Counterspell, that means that the Brightling won't trade with a Counterspell later. Oh, or it could just work. Excuse me. I'm going to cast this Mom, and if it makes it back to my turn without me getting Terminus, then I can, like, kind of safely cast the Prelate and put it on 6, and then have my stuff well protected. I'm willing to do this mostly because if my opponent brainstorms to set up a Terminus, I can just port down their Tundra on their turn, and then not have to worry about this. However, the Portent found one instead, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I'm a little confused about that Spell Pierce being there. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna play the Prelate first, because if my opponent has a counter spell, I don't want it to get the Brightling. The Brightling is how I win when this goes really, really long. And we are poised for this to go pretty darn long. Well, yeah, it's very obvious that, like, Miracles is going to be one of, like, the just unquestionable Tier 1 decks of the format. Not close. Alright, so we have an Anti-Jace Sword in play. That's nice. And we have a creature they don't really want to bounce, which is also nice. Is there a 3-drop on top? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd rather play the Batterskull when I have 7 mana, so I can Batterskull and equip in the same turn. Let's try this. I also don't really think Counterbalance is the best way to fight D&T in both sideboard games. That is daggers. Hey, Oregon. So if I play the Flicker Wisp, I can play Flicker Wisp, flicker a Monk token, equip, or I can play Flicker Wisp, flicker a land, and port. Probably better to just equip. I could play the Batterskull first, but if I do so, it's just like the germ is just going to get bounced by Jace, and then if my Flicker Wisp doesn't resolve after that, it's just disastrous. So I think I just like play the Flicker Wisp, equip, and try to kill my opponent in 2 turns. Somewhat unlikely to work. I mean, Miracles is a hard matchup. Opponent's drawing okay as well. So note that if I can connect with the Batterskull, it will be a lethal hit. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the land is fine. I need my opponent to not find, like, land, or not find, like, Swords to Plowshares or Snapcaster Mage or a Disenchant effect. I can't get through currently. There's the Disenchant. Should just mean I'm dead. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, 4 times 5 is 20, even if I block the Mentor. So against Miracles, roughly, these are the cards that are coming in the current build, with Relic Order being a consideration, and most or all of the Swords to Plowshares are coming out. And I think I trimmed 2 moms. So approximately these for these. But again, this is my first time playing with this build against Miracles, so like some of that might not be correct. It's possible some of the deck building changes that I've made will influence how some of these cards work together. So like, it's possible that like with Cleric around, I'm supposed to cut these. It's possible that with Brighling around as like a really late game card, I'm supposed to keep in a couple of Swords to Plowshares. I'm not sure about some of that sort of stuff. I haven't gotten the feel for it yet. We're going to talk with Jarvis about counterbalance effectiveness post-board for Miracles if people are cutting Caverns to support Brighling better. I've always felt that it's much easier for the Miracles players to win by just removing my threats once they hit the board. Like, I'm much more worried about the Swords to Plowshares, Supreme Verdict, Terminus type cards than the counterbalance. Like, that's... I know we don't have the like huge cavern support that we used to, but like with Vile and a decent split of converted mana costs that you kind of have to do the guesswork with, I don't know that I love it. All right, back in we go. Oh, you're trying to figure out what the opponent was doing. Well, like the opponent left in Spell Pierce, right? Like, post-board, Spell Pierce hits Council's Judgment, 3 pieces of equipment, and Vials. Maybe don't read too far into the opponent's decisions accordingly. Sure, a Spell Pierce can be good against Cataclysm, but like a lot of times when you cast Cataclysm, you know, it's like turn 10 or something like that. So I can pay for Spell Pierce pretty easily. So I don't know that I buy that argument. Coinman, more or less. The Brightlings and the Remorseful Clerics are filling the slots that more Mirren Crusaders and Serra Avengers used to fill. Mascarponis, I think there's some typo in there. Not quite sure what you mean. Do I have Council's Judgment in the sideboard? Yes, I have 2 Council's Judgment in the sideboard. Well, Saint Satan, like, isn't having, like, Force of Will and actual Counterspell, like, aren't those the cards that you save forces for? Like, spells of that level? Yeah, so, like, there aren't that many cards you want to force when you're playing against D&T. Like, you want to force the Vial. You want to force the cards that are more than a 2-for-1 when you can't easily answer both sides of them. So, like, there are times where you need to, like, force a Recruiter, because otherwise it would cost you 2 cards to answer it if you don't have something like a Terminus or, like, Snapcaster Swords geared up. And you want to force some of the, like, sideboard cards, like Council's Judgment or Cataclysm, because, like, those are things that have a huge warping impact on the game. But, like, a lot of this stuff can be generically answered pretty easily, so you don't have to counterspell it. Meaning that, like, your counterspells are your safety net for whatever you can't deal with. What do I think of Soldier Stompy going forward? To be honest, I haven't given it a lot of thought. I imagine the deck is worse positioned because this is why I like Moto sounds. I imagine it's positioned worse than it used to be because, like, the deck was relatively good against Deathrite Shaman decks because of Suppression Field. Remorseful Cleric has been good, but, you know, I've only played 6 or 8 matches with it. This is a little mana light, but I'll keep it. I have a good set of cards here. I don't think Remorseful Cleric is the sort of card that you'd want to play in Maverick, at least not in the main deck. Oh, no. Oh, wait. This is fine. Okay, so I didn't notice this because I was talking with you all, but my opponent chose not to play first, so I'm probably playing against Dredge, and I have the Remorseful Cleric in my opening hand. That's awesome. Actually, Blood Moon is pretty good. I used to have a very poor impression of that card, but I've kind of changed my mind about it. Alright. How early do I want to throw down this Cleric? I don't think I just want to, like, throw this on turn 2 and hope they kept a 1 Dredger hand. I think I want to try to get more value out of that card. This might be greedy, though. I really just want to, like, play this Aether Vial, let them dredge once, and then nuke the graveyard with Cleric next turn. Well, I'm likely to, like, hardcast the Cleric next turn. So then my opponent will discard another Golgari Grave Troll here. And then I might cash in the Cleric. Ooh. We'll see. So is using Remorseful Cleric right now enough value? That is my current question. If I just nuke their graveyard now, if I nuke their graveyard now, I essentially get a Time Walk, right? But then they have another troll in their hand that they'll just discard. The issue is that if I don't nuke it now, they're gonna like Icarid with Street Wraith, Nether Shadow with just its own trigger. But maybe that's fine. Like maybe I can just like take this damage and just get more bridges. The bridges are what I care about. Yeah, they're manaless. I think I can let this go a little bit further. I think I can just like take that four damage and be fine with that. My hand can clean up the smaller stuff pretty well. But I can't really beat bridges. Ooh, they're just taking a natural draw. That's pretty annoying. Because if I let that resolve, they can just, like, dredge in response to the Remorseful Cleric. So I guess this is just me. This sucks. Ooh, he's draw out the next upkeep. Okay. So I guess that is fine. I don't really want to... Do I want to give him the zombie? I think this is an okay spot to use the Cleric. This was probably wrong. This keeps the Icarid around. Alright, so I invalidated that. Now I'll play Stoneforge. And I'll get the Batter Skull. Yeah, I want to stop the thing that accelerates their dredge plan, and I don't think they have Phantasmagorian right now. This is an interesting dredge build. Alright, so where am I putting this Jitte? I can probably just put it on Flicker Wisp. That way I don't necessarily need to, like, move it the next turn. Put it on Stoneforge, but then I can double block. But if they do that, I get one of their creatures easily. The issue with putting it on Batterskull is that I might need to move it later to the Flicker Wisp. But I'm probably going to put it on the Batterskull, that way I can just kill the Flicker Wisp if I need to, if my opponent gets bridges, without having to re-equip. I'm fine with just killing that Narcomoeba now. If I attack them with the Stoneforge, they might double block, and I can just get the Narcomoeba before they have any bridges. Okay. Yeah, get in there, little buddy. Okay, so there's a dread return. What does that mean for me? I think I probably want to flicker my batter skull. That will kill my germ, getting rid of that bridge. Then I can kill 2 of their creatures with Jitte counters in order to keep them from dread returning Balustrade Spy and doing God knows what. No, the non-token side is their side. It says when a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from the battlefield. Yeah. Okay, now what do I want to kill and in what order? This is going to kill itself, so I don't need to kill that. I guess I want to kill the flyer. And then I'll kill one of these. Morning. Okay, so I'll probably attack with everything but Revoker. I don't want to turn that bauble back on and take a risk. So the question is, where do I want to put the Jitte? And the answer is, it probably doesn't matter. It's like I get to equip, I get to play a mom. The mom can be fodder to just, like, kill my own stuff. Guess I'll put it on the batter skull so I can use it both offensively and defensively if need be. Let's just check to make sure I don't have lethal if I attack with everything. If I attack with everything, this is blocked. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is not lethal. In what way would Wisp be lethal? Okay, so there are no bridges. So I'll just remove that. Then I have lethal with my 2 wisps in the air. Opponent only has 2 creatures. This comes back at end step, so they can't dread return with it. So I'm good. Hey-oo! Got there. Alright, so D&T versus Manaless Dredge. I win. Game 1, Remorseful Cleric. Remorseful Cleric, though not the card that like literally won me the game, was the one that bought me a ton of time. I made some small errors this game. Kind of lucked out. So what do I want? I definitely want Rest in Peace. I definitely want Surgical Path. I probably want Recruiter for Cleric. I would consider Prelate. What's bad? I probably don't need the 24th land against this deck. So I guess I can, like, shave a Wasteland. Can probably cut 1 piece of equipment pretty safely. Can probably cut a Flicker Whisper too. Morning, JD. Probably cut a Brightling. A lot of like these middling cards in terms of power level. Jungle Bot, yeah, that's more or less correct. I don't even know if my opponent is playing Phantasmagorian. I didn't see it. And they've got a bunch of weird stuff in there, like Urza's Bauble. So they might be trying to go faster rather than the grindy route. I wonder if that means, like, I should just take a risk and do that. I'm going to try this and be prepared to be punished for that decision. Morning, Romario. Oh my god. See if we get blown out by a Street Wraith. Oh, wow, we don't. Okay, so what's weird here? Alright, so there were Phantasmagorians. They have the Flare of the Hatebound kill. Ooh, they have Force of Wills. Okay. Hey, I missed cash at GPU New Jersey due to Dredge having Force of Will. Yay, I did it. That was like the most absurd hand I've maybe ever drawn. That was disgusting. Alright, folks, I'm going to take 30 seconds and run to the restroom here, and then I'll start up the next match. Alright. Good morning, everyone. My name is Phil Gallagher. I run ThrabenU University. Today we are playing with Mono White D&T featuring Brighling and Brightling's Gas. Here's to hoping that we get paired against like Dredge again, with double Remorseful Cleric opener. Alright, maybe some sort of like Bant, Leovold, Bant, True Name deck. That will be guess one for right now. I'm just snapping this off. This probably hurts my opponent more than it hurts me. If they're a bird deck, that means they probably require 3 mana for most of their good spells. This is a long pause. This might be the, like, do I concede right here pause. Nope, never mind. What is my opponent doing? Is this just gonna be like check pile with Birds of Paradise? I'm with you, Rob. Jeez, I think this is just check pile with Birds of Paradise. I think I'll hold this in case they play a Leovold. Maybe not. I'll just Flicker Wisp and leave up that land. So my opponent's at 12. This is a 3-turn clock. If I play out the Cleric, it turns into a 2-turn clock, but then I get hit pretty hard by something like a Toxic Deluge. Hey, I'm glad you're enjoying the stuff that's on YouTube. You know, that's the whole reason I put it up there, is so that the people who can't catch me live can see it, because the stuff on Twitch goes and it disappears after a couple of days. So they haven't pulled the trigger on a removal spell over there. And I feel like this is Pile. So I don't think I'm going to play out this Cleric. I think I'm fine holding that. Lauren, Julian? Isn't this Brave New World great? Where you can just, honest to goodness, just destroy someone with a couple of Wastelands. Allurin? Oh, this is Red Allurin. Okay. Okay. We'll play out the cleric so that we're presenting lethal if my opponent doesn't do something annoying. I mean, Julian, when I did my, like, you know, looking at the future of Legacy sort of like discussion, I did put your tweet up that that you posted about, like, don't spend too much time theory crafting, just get out there and play games. I thought that was very powerful and well articulated. All right, so what do I want against Allurin? Things that answer Allurin is essentially the answer. This is going to be a matchup where Brighling does not shine, because my opponent is going to have almost infinite chump blockers as well as Baleful Strix. So this is not Brightling time. This is a place where Brightling is not good. So for anyone who hasn't played a lot against Olurin, you think about it and you go, oh, my opponent is comboing off with creatures. I will just point a removal spell at that creature and things will work. That does not usually work the way you want it to. Yes, Brightling isn't always good, just most of the time. This is an awkward matchup. I don't really like playing against Olurin. It's scary. Well, this hand doesn't do anything. So what's my game plan? My game plan is turn 1 Wasteland them. Turn 2 Mom. Turn 3 hopefully have drawn a 2-drop. Turn 4 Recruiter for something that will prevent them from going off, like Aethersworn Canonist. Is this hand better than my average 6-card hand? It's not great. Julian, there are things that I, like, stay up late at night thinking about, and sometimes it's like, what if Mom could do that? Ugh. Wow, this hand's gas. There are a lot of times when you watch new D&T players play, they like think Mom just says target creature, and so they try to do that, and so like you end up with all these weird Ooh, that's amazing. So you end up with all these like really weird plays where someone's like, this is terrifying. Alright. This is not a play that you want to make. You don't want to wasteland when you're behind on mana on board, but I really don't want to just like play Mom out and then have them go like Punishing Fire, buy back Punishing Fire. I am borrowing my Brightlings from Piroko 139, basic planes in the chat. I did not find them yesterday when I was looking. Well, actually, more accurately, I found them, and GoatBots had them, and then when I tried to confirm my trade with them, the bot just hung. So, I almost had Brightlings. Tendrils you for 20. Mom target me, protection from black. Got there. Alright. So we've got a layer of protection up. So we're not going to get comboed off. But a lot of times Olurin in the post-sideboard games is actually just trying to outvalue you rather than, like, explicitly combo off. Dak Faden. What is this deck list? This is, like, punishing Dak Olurin. This deck list is insane. This is so cool. This is why I'm loving Legacy right now. Yeah, I love my opponent's deck. This is so sweet. Well, he can try to steal the Canonist, more accurately. Alright, so what am I doing with my life? I can hit my opponent to 13, play Stoneforge, fetch Sword of Fire and Ice, then hit my opponent for 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I can just, like, ignore the deck and try to kill my opponent. Or I can kill the deck over the next 2 turns. What's the ultimate on this? -6. I can't double Stoneforge. Is there some great speed-running debacle right now? I have been very disconnected from the news in the past 2 weeks. I'm ignoring this deck. So I guess one thing I didn't consider in making that attack is that if my opponent plays an Imperial Recruiter, they do have a blocker that can make me sad. Oh, they just took damage. That's terrifying. What does that mean for me? Ooh. Alright. There goes that sword. I want to draw a land so that I can Recruiter. Ooh, alright, that's a real blocker. just finish that thought, so I can Recruiter and revoke DAC. And not have to, like, attack DAC. Or there's that. Alright, so opponent, so that's 7. So I can Council Judgment the DAC. To just, like, make sure that emblem doesn't mess me up. I'm going to do that pre-combat, though. I can only deal 6 right now. Like, if I got rid of, like, Strix and then gave this, like, pro blue, I can only deal 6. I don't actually have lethal this turn. I'm doing this pre-combat in case my opponent has Force of Will, and, like, Force of Will is the Council's Judgment, then I would, like, want to give the Mirror Crusader pro blue. And I don't want to, like, force this Strix in there because I know my opponent has Punishing Fire in their deck. So I don't want to, like, expose my Mirror Crusader to Punishing Fire when I have a very dominant board position. Baleful Strix Tribal. Ish! So this is the Allurin list that features red for Imperial Recruiter. I don't want to ask for deck lists from people this early on in a new format. Like, there are a lot of people who are doing hard work for things like GP Richmond and other big events that are coming up, and they don't necessarily want all of their tricks out of the bag. I really wish I had this Sword of Fire and Ice for Pro Red. That would be stellar. So I can go cast Stoneforge, not Jitte, and equip. So I'll just swing in. My opponent will chump block with the Imperial Recruiter. Yeah. Now I'll get a Jitte. And I'll put that in with Stoneforge Mystic at some point on my opponent's turn. Now, Thalia is not doing a ton. I already have Aethersworn Canonist, so, like, I'm already taxing on my opponent from that front. I want to get Jitte online, because with Jitte counters, I can, to some degree, prevent, like, block with Recruiter, Cavern Harpy, bounce Recruiter sort of things, which is, like, a way that they could prevent this Mirror Crusader from just going all the way. Alright, so you say Thalia is an attacker. I attack with Thalia, my opponent blocks with 2 Shardless Agent. Would I really want to, like, tap my Mother of Runes to save a Thalia? No, so Thalia would just trade with Shardless Agent. That's not good. And I don't have a Caracas to do shenanigans with. So just, like, getting Jitte online and pecking away at that board will be very important. Well, Therapy is a spell, so if they cast a non-artifact spell, they can't then Therapy me. At some point in the not-too-distant future, I will certainly play some Maverick, but that is probably not, like, today or anything like that. Okay, so I think I can go for the win here. I can Recruiter the Guard for Revoker, cast Revoker, and name Birds of Paradise. Then my opponent can't cast a Punishing Fire targeting Mirran Crusader, so it will be safe to give it pro-red and get the kill. I'll play this land in case my opponent has something crazy like a Daze. Quickling. That is a Magic the Gathering card, yes. This is just a trap, right? Oh, this is such a cool spot. Because what if my opponent has Force of Will blue card in their hand? Ooh, this is neat. This is super neat. If they have Force of Will blue card and I just let this Aethersworn Canis happen, they go, ooh, this is super cool. Wait, no, it doesn't matter, right? Like, I just have lethal on board. Yeah. So I just let this happen, then I give it pro-red, and they would have to have something absolutely insane. Like, Slaughter Pact doesn't work on Mirror Crusader. Yeah, I just got it. Alright. So now I don't need to name Birds of Paradise. Now I can just name, like, Cavern Harpy. That was cool. I know Brightling is the hot new tech, but, like, don't forget about Mirror and Crusader, friends. Mirror and Crusader is still awesome. Would you cosplay as Flicker Wisp? I don't know. How does that costume even work? How do I do all those weird elemental legs? How about we just get some of this for you, Julian? How's that? It's not Flicker Wispy, but it's something. So in the past, referring to Rug Delver, someone asked like how the Rug Delver matchup feels. In the past, Rug Delver has... Yeah, this is unplayable. Rug Delver has been an extremely favored matchup for D&T. Like, actual 75-25 in favor of D&T. I've only played one match versus Rug Delver. I played one yesterday. I lost it, but I felt very good. Yes, this is the 75 I talked about in my like post-banning discussion of like where the format might go. I've not made any changes yet. No, yeah, so right now I'm teaching an intensive 3-week course on spoken Latin to a very, very talented group of high school students in Virginia. They are gearing up to go and run a marketplace entirely in Latin, which is going to be super fun. I'm really excited. So I'm getting the Batter Skull here to force my opponent to remove the Stoneforge, and then I have a second follow-up Stoneforge that they'll also have to remove. So I'm just trying to like mess with them so that I can keep this Thalia on the table and really decrease their ability to play the game. So I do nothing a lot. These are students who have already had, at minimum, 2 years of high school Latin, but most of them have had 3 or 4 years of high school Latin. So what I am specifically doing is teaching them how to speak Latin. They already know the language. I'm just gearing them up for a full immersion exercise, which is just something beyond what they normally do. So a lot can be gained. When you have very talented, very like highly motivated students who are willing to put in the effort and are like totally obsessed with like Latin and the ancient world, it's really surprising what we can accomplish. Pater, not paper. Minime. Man, Julian's writing his own storybook over there, chat. Yeah, so doing something like playing Magic in Latin would be kind of difficult, right? Because there's all of this, like, neo-terminology. You know, like, how do you go about in saying, like, your library? Do you use the word that actually meant, like, a physical library in the ancient world? You know, do you just say something like, it's my pile of cards? You have to get kind of creative when talking about neo things. Alright, my opponent is, like, super confused about how to cast a Rift Bolt through Thalia, apparently. Julian dropping the Catullus in the chat. No, you 100% do not learn to speak Latin when learning Latin. That is not the focus of the language. We are 100% gearing people up to read And that's why this is kind of a cool experience at Latin Academy. They get to do something that is just, like, normally far beyond their normal classroom experience. Gotta land. And this is the point where I can go ahead and just, like, hold back the Thalia and just block. I don't need to attack. I can just play nice and safe. The Jitte will take over the game, and I'll start gaining life, and my opponent is going to flop around and die. And if that somehow doesn't work, I will just cast a Batterskull. So Gamer Champ, I'm much better at reading other languages than speaking them. Like, speaking them requires a higher level of thought. Like, you have to be able to, like, call the words that you want to use up. And that requires a greater degree of mastery. Whereas I can, like, look at, and I can go, like, that's from this, that's from this, that's from this, and piece together what's happening. Do I just want to take that 2? Yes, I just want to take that 2. Yeah, so, like, when you learn Latin, you don't learn things like colors, clothing, yes and no, but you can, like, have 27 different verbs that all mean to die. We've got that covered. And that's kind of like what my course does. Like, the first thing I teach in my spoken Latin course is, like, you know, like the hello, how are you doing, you know, what's the weather like, how do I describe the things that are around me, that sort of stuff. Okay. Don't know that I like this block from my opponent, but maybe they have something that I'm not considering. Either that, or my opponent is going, first strike! Yeah. I'm fine with playing out another land here, because I might be hard casting this Batterskull, and it's really hard to do something like fire off multiple price of progresses that would punish me due to my Thalia. Lightning Bolt target me, that's fine. Yeah, you can have a 4/3. I don't think that's going to matter all that much. Interesting. Interesting. So I can probably just use this opportunity to go and kill the Swift Spear with the Prowess trigger on the stack, just so I don't have to worry about that for the rest of the game. Then, like, I can just beat Vexing Devil in combat or ignore it. Opponent's deck is interesting. Opponent, this has first strike. You learned that last turn. You learned this last turn. That's when the narrator steps in and says, "Indeed, he did not learn that last turn." Yeah. Jitei's like an okay Magic card, right? Alright, so we're playing against Burn. Kind of a weird version of Burn. Probably want this removal. If they're going to play Pyrostatic Pillars and maybe leave them in, I probably want this Relic Warder. I want the Canonists. I want Brightling. Probably not Recruiter. Council's Judgment is a consideration. And I probably want Prelate War and Peace. Revoker comes out. Recruiter comes out. Crusader comes out. And then we get into real questions from there. So like my question is going to be like, how much enchantment-based hate are they playing? Like, are they playing Sulfuric Vortex alongside these Pyrostatic Pillars, or is like Pillar a choice over that? Yeah, so Ling, I did 2 damage to it. I got my Jitei trigger since I dealt combat damage, and then I shrunk the Vexing Devil. Yeah, I'm looking mighty fine. I bored out my 4th piece of equipment in this matchup because, like, these 3 gain life, so you're basically never going to want to fetch this one up. Yeah, the Cleric might be able to go since I'm replacing it with another 2-drop, but it's like a fine aggressive card, and it's something that can, like, trade with Goblin Guide, so I don't hate it. But I agree with that. So, like, the way you lose the burn matchup is when your opponent just gets in for, like, 6, 8, 10 damage with a 1-drop before you manage to check it. Yeah, plenty of my students watch my stream. More of my, like, during the school year ones. I don't know how I feel about these Council's Judgments. Like, given that my opponent's burn list is a little untraditional, I'm not sure. Just, like, Relic Warder might be good enough. Like, having Brightling in the equation kind of changes things. Because, like, normally I have more Crusaders to board out, so I board in the Council's Judgments, and I just don't know if that's still correct, given the changes that I'm making to the deck. I'm going to keep this. This doesn't have a source of life gain, but it has a removal for a turn 1 creature, and Thalia, which is just awesome. Hey, Brightling! Hello, friend! So Saint Satan, I'm not... My opponent saw the Brightling, was just like, nice. I'm not sure if I want to make assumptions about what is in my opponent's sideboard. Like, we're in a brave new world. I don't know that I 100% know that they're still going to be on, like, the Bridge Vortex plan, especially if my opponent is going for some permanent-based removal in the form of the Pyrostatic Pillars in the main deck. Ah, Lava Man. Very well. I will feed a Thalia to Lava Man. And honestly, Thalia might make it around the table once. Just depends on like whether or not my opponent can cast a spell here. So I guess like the next question is like, do they remove the Thalia now, or do they wait until like my end step to do it? I would wait until my end step. But like, there is something to be lost if I just like drop a Caracas. I'm not just going to slam the Brightling right now. I want to have 4 mana. I want to be able to protect that. So what does me the most good to have in play? Is it just the Canonist, so they can only cast 1 spell, and then they can't... Yeah, it's probably that. Because if I play Canonist, they can only cast 1 spell, and then they can't use Grim Lavamancer the next turn. I wouldn't waste land myself if my opponent played Price of Progress, so I'm just going to leave the plains open and represent some sort of removal spell, even though it's clear that I don't have one, because I would have used it. Look, I'm not gonna hate you for saying that you like Lava Man. I get it. Card is disgusting. Ooh. Well, the good news is that I can play Brightling and protect it by increasing its toughness, but I can't actually bounce it. Lightning Bolt targeting me. Ooh, boy. My opponent has a 3 damage spell. I will die. Fire Blast me. That works. Alright, so we were 1 turn away from taking over this game. That is acceptable. That's no good. That is also no good. No, even if my opponent has Grim Lavamancer, I don't keep Revoker in because it's just, like, terrible against the rest of the deck, and, like, Path and Plow deal with it. Alright, so I get a Surprise Mom. I have a Swords to Plowshares for something silly like an Eidolon. Yeah, my regulars aren't good about adding quotes. And by that I mean they've never done it. Yeah, sure, quote me more. I say funny things every once in a while. But don't feel like you need to force it. I don't even think I'm going to play this Ether Vial. I don't want to give them another Smash to Smithereens target. Like, that's terrifying if they just have more. Like, I'm probably already just dead anyway. Like, I mulled to 5, my opponent has just spells that are going straight to my dome. Need to get real lucky. Fire Blast targeting me. Well, not dead. But now I just, like, probably have to attack with both of these. I can't accept a 5-turn clock from Canonist. This means that a Searing Effect will kill me. This means that a Smash will kill me. But, like, there's no way that they're not going to draw something in 5 turns that beats me. Yeah, I will die to, like, literal anything. Yep, and that's fine. I do not regret my decision. No, it's game 3. Like, I mulled to 5 to that one on that one. Like, I was expecting a loss there. That was closer than I thought it would be. No, I'm going to continue to play D&T. I've got until about 11:45, so I don't really have time to switch decks. And, like, this is a time where I really need to test. I'm preparing for some big things in the not-too-distant future. So, like, I need to make sure I'm comfortable with my deck list. I mean, even better, that was a powerful showing for a burn deck that was non-traditional, right? Like, my opponent made a lot of misplays in game 1 and just, like, punted left and right. And then in game 2 and 3, everything kind of worked out. One of the events that I'm preparing for is GP Richmond. Morning, Famine. This is a solid hand. Rish, I feel like it was somewhere up in, like, the Pittsburgh area. But don't quote me on that. Alright, Julian. Whole game in Latin. Morior. I'm dead. Yeah, I'd be fine with hosting another meetup of some nature. Ooh. It's been many moons since I have seen this card on the battlefield. I hope this is like Julian's list that didn't have natural order. Then maybe I have a chance. Like, it's a snowball's chance, but it is a chance. Yeah, so Fanny Pack Basic Planes from the chat is letting me borrow stuff. Okay, I need to think for a moment about whether or not I want to Wasteland. So, if I Wasteland, my next turn is Stoneforge play land. The following turn is... Oh, wait, no, so I'll take my Vial up. So I can put in Stoneforge and cast Jitte next turn. Then I can get in with the Stoneforge, take Vial up again, put in Crusader. Yeah, okay, I do want Wasteland. Alright, so Julian can't hear. But there is a strong question of whether or not the Wasteland is good. If I do Wasteland, there's the potential that I keep my opponent from doing sweet things. If I don't Wasteland, I can get 2 more Jitte counters early. But I think that the Wasteland play has very high potential upside to do awesome things. So we have to try to communicate this, Julian. We get the Jitte on the Stoneforge next turn. So my opponent has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana currently. We'll see if I just get, like, glimpsed out or equivalent here. Yeah, equipping Stoneforge next turn is 100% our plan. This body is irrelevant. Taking 2 1/1 elves off the battlefield is sweet, and then we get, like, the Crusader coming in to do dirty things. Yes, all of my streams get uploaded to the Thraben University channel on YouTube. You can find the link to that through my website, Thraben University, which is linked to below with the image. All the replays are available on Twitch for a little while, but then they phase out. Elves is one of the worst matchups for D&T. I won't say that it is the absolute worst, because, like, there are worse decks, but as far as common matchups go, Elves is the worst common matchup. Oh yeah, I should change that now. Alright, so can I edit this deck list? So let's take all those out. Alright, is that 24 lands, and everything else looks correct? Yep, okay. Alright, so opponent plays a Wirewood, bounces, redeploys, probably make 3 more mana. I'm glad you like it, Rish. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on, do I actually die? So this is 17. Throw that under the bus. Did not die. Go me. Can I not die again? So I can Violent Brightling, give Brightling lifelink, pump by 2, block Craterhoof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll gain 5 and go up to 6 life. I am not dead. Neat. Wait, hold on. Is just like Crusader better? What happens if I go No, if I go Crusader, they just attack with 3 elves, and then they can bounce whichever one I block, and so I won't get Jitte counters. Yeah, so the Brightling plan is better. Yeah, I'm fighting the good fight. It's not gonna work. No. So like, they just don't attack in with the Behemoth next turn. So I can't like go Crusader and equip. Otherwise, they just attack with. Actually, just like attacking with 2 elves does it too, right? Even if they can't somehow like untap Nettle Sentinel, they just attack in with 2 elves. Whichever one I block, they bounce with Wirewood and I die. Oh, can they make the same play with Brightling? Yes. But the Brightling can be a surprise. So maybe they'll mess up. And if they attack in with the Behemoth, then the Brightling play works. Oh, neat. No thought, turn them sideways. I mean, we can hedge against elves, but how about we don't and we just accept that we're going to lose that? That sounds way better to me. I'd like to make my middling and good matchups very good while hedging against the stuff that's reasonably bad. You can't expect to make your worst matchup good by going and adding 3 or 4 cards to the sideboard for it. Okay, is there any world where I survive this next turn? No. But we tried. I fought the good fight. So, what do I want? 100% want Canonist. Probably want Recruiter. Will consider Council's Judgment, but I'm going to guess that my opponent isn't on the Natural Order plan, so this probably isn't as good. Oh man, if my opponent's not on the Natural Order plan, then Prelate's not even that good. Maverick is probably a slight winner. Like, Wasteland got better, and so recurring Wastelands with, like, Loams and Ramunap Excavators seems like a good plan. I don't know which build of Nick Fitz I'm going to play. I'm going to play 2 different builds. So, these are cards that I'm going to consider. Yeah. Like, I have so many bad cards. So, like, I'll start by getting rid of those Thalias. Like, those are just absolutely terrible. And then I'll go from there. This is really different from a lot of my typical builds. So Brightling's probably not insane. I really wish I had the Containment Priest. The Containment Priest would make the Recruiters good. The 3rd Recruiter might be too slow. I probably won't play the Council's Judgments, and so then I just need to make, like, 1 more trim. I don't necessarily want to cut the Brightlings, though, because, like, a lot of my stuff can't go and stabilize the ground at all. So keeping some of them's probably fine. And I can just, like, shave 1 Wisp. Ooh, challenge results. Yes, I would like to play first. This is not an exciting hand. But it has tools, and it's not like I have Containment Priest to mulligan to this time around. My Recruiters are less good than they normally are. Do I want to YOLO this hand? I can YOLO this hand in, like, Swords of Plowshares, Dryad Arbor, Wasteland Bayou. Is that better than just going for turn 4 connect with Jitte? The issue is that since I don't have another land, if this plan does not work and my opponent actually has another land, I'm going to get really far behind. But maybe I don't win any other way. I don't think I can. I don't think I can afford to do it. I think I have to play safer. And we'll save the Swords to Plowshares for a more critical elf. Yeah, Perish. Perish is rough. I've only gotten to play that card a few times in Legacy. Alright. There goes the Jitte plan. If I get to 5 mana, I can Flicker Wisp the Needle and get 2 Jitte counters. Well, I guess I can get Sword of Fire and Ice, and yeah, that's the new plan. That doesn't feel good. How did the bombardment place? That's amazing. No, last turn was the turn to YOLO. I do not want to, like, do that now. Yeah, so if I wasted in Swords to Plowshare, he just would have went, like, land library, and that would have felt so terrible. I'll look at the Legacy Challenge after this round. And I really needed another land. Yeah, supply of Brightling is not anywhere close to demand. There was some issue with the chests on Moto not populating properly or something like that. There was some tweet about it. So I really want to, like, get this Heritage Druid off the table. But then I don't want to wasteland afterwards. I would love to get this Sword of Fire and Ice into play and start, like, picking off elves. But I don't know that I can afford to let the Heritage Druid stay. So I think I need to either revoke the Heritage Druid or remove it with Swords to Plowshares. Welshman, thank you for your support. Go ahead and revoke that. Feels bad, though. Yeah, I imagine that the prices on Brightling will stabilize in a couple of weeks. They'll still be pricey. Like, the card's very good. It's going to see a lot of play. But it won't be the silly, like, $40 it is right now. Alright. That's bad. So I'll have to Swords to Plowshares that on my turn. Oh boy! This is an elf too, right? So I can't just, like... So the Wirewood has to go before I can deal with this. Oh, I can just Caracas that! Awesome. That's a legend. Will my opponent just activate the overrun effect this turn? I don't think so, right? Because they just go like 3, 6, 7, 8. They wouldn't hit me for that much damage. So I think I just take this turn off so that I can put in my Sword of Fire and Ice and start trying to connect with that, and then I'll bounce Azuri the following turn. It means I miss out on a couple points of just, like, Stoneforge pecking, but that's not how I'm winning this game. Ill with Phil, thank you for your continued support. It's keeping me doing what I love. Killing people with Brightlings. But not this person. This is bad. Okay, so I can bounce the Azuri. Or do I just want to, like, kill the Azuri and just make it so that my opponent can't, a turn or two down the line, play it followed by overrun and kill me? Let me think about this for a minute. What will I kill if not Azuri? I would probably kill Heritage Druid. Can't get Rensrun Packmaster off the table. So this is the card that I need to beat right now. This is dealt with in two different ways with what's on board. How do I beat this? I can just beat it with, like, Batterskull plus equipment a few turns down the line, I guess. I can also opt to just wasteland the Gaia's Cradle, and then keep them to 1 wolf a turn. That seems pretty reasonable. No, no, we're not conceding. I got this. Maybe. I mean, honestly, what's going to happen is they're just going to, like, abrupt decay this sword, and then I'll concede. You don't get any better if you just, like, get paired against elves and you just snap conceded, right? Like, you gotta learn to try. My opponent's at 12 life. I don't know that I actually will get savaged with Library. N.W. Robinson. I'll just point to this pithing needle. Well, my lunch is scheduled. My lunch is at noon. I don't have any choice about that. That's just happening at noon. So I can't do anything before then. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just come on. Let me play, opponent. Let me try. Probably something like 2080. It's very bad. That might be generous still. I just realized something I didn't consider before. My opponent can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and pump, so I actually need to bounce Azuri at some point. So I'm not actually killing Azuri. I can kill Dryad Arbor. No, I know Azuri can't regenerate itself, but it could pump itself with the overrun ability. Alright, so now how am I supposed to win? So effectively 2 pieces of equipment down. I can get a Batter Skull in play. My opponent is a little choked on mana. But I'm just going to drown in wolves. So, like, what do I need to draw to get through this? A Swords to Plowshares on the Ren's Run Packmaster would be stellar. I don't know that I said anything about elves. I'd listen to whatever Julian has to say about elves. I don't. Like, I own elves. I play it from time to time, but I play elves casually. I don't even bring in Cataclysm versus elves if I play it. I don't think that's a good proposition. They rebuild faster than you, and a lot of times they can go like Quarian Ranger and Wirewood Symbiote, bounce a bunch of stuff back to their hand, and the Cataclysm hurts you so much more than them, even though they lose 5 cards. Am I okay with just chump blocking? I'm not gonna chump block. My opponent's at 7. If somehow they just have 4 lands in hand, maybe I do. Oh god, it's a lot of Wolverinos over there. In order to not die, I probably have to get my Batter Skull. And we're gonna get aggressive. Yeah, 100% with you, Julian. I am presenting lethal next turn with Mom Protect and Flicker Wisp Attack. I'm also representing stabilizing considerably with Batter Skull, but I'm going to take a big hit here. I can jump block, the Wren's Run Packmaster, then take 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh. I'm not a math wizard, but that's probably dead. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with Cradle. 10 mana, so Azuri can activate twice. Is this an elf too? Yeah. So that's 3, 6, 9, 18, plus 5, 23, 24. It's 25 damage from these alone. Alright. Rats. Rats. So close. Alright. Yeah, we do that sometimes. We occasionally lose magic. Alright, I want to look at these challenge results real quick. And then I probably need to go to lunch. Show and tell, show and tell. D&T with nothing particularly special. There's some Remorseful Cleric. Loam-based decks. What is this? What is this? Interesting. It's Painter, Red-White Painter featuring 4 Canonists and 4 Smuggler's Copters. That's intriguing. No, Famine, I didn't update my list, but I can do so later today. D&T, nothing special here. Amishra's Factory, Dredge, Eldrazi. Ooh, Eldrazi with 4 Thorns in the main deck. I like that. Red Prison, nothing special. What is this? When Stitcher's Supplier enters the battlefield or dies, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Oh, this is cool. This is the Zombardment list that people were talking about. There's some cool synergy here. Yeah, Spicy Meatball confirmed for sure. Is this a zombie? Ooh, it is a zombie too for Gravecrawler synergy. Neat. Storm, Rug. Nothing too crazy there. Prison. I'm always very skeptical of this card seeing Legacy play. I get it. I've been on the wrong side of it a couple of times, but it's 5 mana. Like, if you're going to play against, like, Strix every round or something like that, just, like, play another sword that gives protection from blue or black. Like, play a Sword of Feast and Famine. That card's pretty nutty with Brighling, although I haven't, like, actually done that yet. Yeah, like, this is crazy diversity, right? There's some Infect, some more Rug, some more Dredge, some more Rug, more D&T. Nothing spicy there. What is this? Oh, this is a sweet Loam deck with Ajani Vengeance. That's cool. That's really cool, actually. I like that a lot. More Loam, more Storm, Goblins. Goblins splashing white for main deck Thalias. What is Bali Veteran? When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to target creature and opponent controls equal to the number of goblins you control. Okay. So there's a lot of Rug Delver, but then there's a lot of, like, Loam Punishing Fire green decks. Some Stone Blades, Blue-Red Delver. Yeah, this is awesome Week 1 diversity. Oddly enough, there's no Reanimator in there. I guess everyone is just prepared for it. The Goblin sideboard has a whole Stone Blade package? Okay, hold on. Hold on. I missed that. Oh, wow. 4 Stone Fours are just ain't a Batter Skull. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm super happy with that set of results. Like, Legacy's in a really great place. I feel like the format's very healthy, a lot of fun and interesting things going on. I'm excited to see where things go. I'm not convinced that my list is optimal yet, but I feel like I have a good starting point. I really like my main deck that I'm playing with. Not 100% sure on the sideboard. I might need to change some things around a little bit, but I feel like I have the right sort of tools. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. It is about lunchtime for me. I will be back tomorrow evening. I'm taking my 1 day off tomorrow evening, so I will do stream Probably around 6:30 or 7 p.m. Eastern time. I will. I was thinking maybe fried elf. Yeah. Welcome to the new world, folks. It's a lot of fun. I'll see you again tomorrow night. If you're enjoying my content, please follow my channel so you know when I'm going live. It's kind of random right now, and I'm not following regular hours. And if you really enjoy what I'm doing, consider donating to my cause or subscribing or something of that nature. Cheers. Have a good afternoon.